Hey, here we are, Chiromafia.
How you doing?
How
Hey,
you doing?
hey,
Hey.
hey.
When I used to do the annual seminars and the semi-annuals, man, why is it all the major leaders in chiropractic are Italian?
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know. They all end in
multiple
vowels. You
reasons.
got Borio, Gentempo, Demas is
Yeah,
Italian, even though it doesn't end in a vowel.
yeah,
Zeno.
yeah,
Who else? Pampa,
yeah.
Capra.
Looks, intelligence. Yeah.
Looks. You're beautiful, man. You're
Hey,
beautiful.
baby. Come
Yeah,
on.
you are. Di Domenico.
How you doing? Hey, hey.
Hey. Funny. So I was up in Boston. One of my clients is has a clinic in Boston, just outside, and so I go there, and we wanted to talk about business things, and I'm like, I don't know what to talk about, and then now I have something to talk about all of a sudden. But here's the best business model that you can have. It's forget about building a practice because if you do that, you're going to do it one at a time. How about build a movement?
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
business model. Why? Because what's the qualities of a movement? I mean, we'll get into other business things. It's you have an organization of people have the same beliefs, same behavior, same language. It's like what's a movement? Jesus Christ was a movement, right?
Right,
What was their
right,
belief? Hey, what the reason his movement, the reason for his movement is why he got crucified, right?
right,
Independence.
right,
That God is inside you. That you don't
right.
need to go to the temple, but you do need to follow Jewish law. You have spiritual independence, right? And so
Exactly.
Gandhi was a movement. Now, what are the qualities of movement? Well, they have all those things, same beliefs, and they have purpose to do what? Make social change. So, what qualities do they have? They have an enemy. What was Gandhi's enemy? British rule over India. What was
Oh,
Martin
yeah.
Luther King's enemy? Racism.
Right.
Nelson Mandela, apartheid, racism. So, when they have an enemy, then you have purpose. So, what's the enemy in chiropractic? Medical paradigm. Not medical doctors, but medical paradigm because the doctors are indoctrinated, even though they need to fucking pay attention, but whatever. So I saw this, in the Bible it says, our battle is not flesh and bone, it's principalities. It's really good and evil. So what's good and evil? I was watching Monday Night Football the other night, and this drug commercial came on for antidepressant, and they said, take this antidepressant with your other antidepressant because it will make it work better. And then when they rattled off, it sounds like an auctioneer. Hey, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, yeah,
colitis, anal leakage,
yeah,
allergies, blah, 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 death. They mentioned death 4 times.
yeah.
They mentioned suicide 3 times. I counted. Now, if that's not evil, selling you drugs that will kill you or make you kill yourself, that's the battle. The battle is not we're selling chiropractic. The battle is between good and evil. Because pharmacology was created by Rockefeller, who wanted to create petroleum-based drugs. And after they were killing people, he had to go to the government and get indemnity. It's a battle of good and evil, right? And then the second character, one, they have the same belief, same this, same that. Two, they want to make social change. They have an enemy. Three, they have hope for a better future. So look at Gandhi. We have freedom. No British rule over India. We can do what we want. Martin Luther King, unity. It's the highest principle. We're all
Yes.
one. That was Jesus' message. God is inside us. We're all one. We're all brothers and sisters, right? Go and sin no more. Don't judge her for sinning. Let the first person that hasn't sinned cast the first stone, right? How many are left? None, my Lord. Great, right? Neither do I judge you, right? So go and sin no more. It's unity.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, what's the hope of chiropractic? That we rule healthcare. That we're gonna pattern interrupt and disrupt the healthcare system. So, if you want to disrupt healthcare, you better mimic the business models of the people that disrupted industries and align them in your business model.
Yeah.
Now I'm going on here. I said, I don't know what to talk about now. I can't
No,
share.
no, I get it. You're right. Yeah, exactly. So model the mission. Like, what is the mission, right? What are the ingredients, which you just laid out for us?
Yeah, so I modeled Elite after Steve Jobs. What was his business model? Be a great storyteller. That's you. That's why
Yeah,
you build big practices. You handle objections with the stories and analogies, right? What was Travis Kalanick that for Uber, right? What was another Steve Jobs? Create an insane customer experience. That's not patient education. That's an experience,
exactly.
right? That's why they sleep on a sidewalk for 2 days to get a new watch,
Right, exactly.
right? Tony Robbins, don't sell a product or service. You have to sell an identity. Who are they becoming? People by identity, not products or services. Elon Musk, get this. Align your business with the universal laws. What's he doing? Creating products that are based on electromagnetic force.
Yes.
What's the chiropractic? Universal intelligence and intelligence. It's the highest universal law. We are all one.
Yes.
Right? Travis Kalanick. Don't sacrifice the long term vision for short term results. Don't sit there and tell a person, Miss Jones, how's your back pain affect your life? Well, I can't pick up my kids. Now my back pain's gone, Doc. I'll come back when my
Exactly.
back hurts. Now, what
Exactly.
did you sacrifice? You
Exactly.
associated a condition with a principle, and now the condition's gone. Now you have a short term result as opposed to teaching them lifestyle right out of the gate, which is what you do, which is
Yeah.
what we do. They get lifestyle at the end of day one. We got a day one, day two boot camp coming up where 100% of patients will agree that they can see why this is healthcare lifestyle.
Yes. Exactly.
Fuck this condition based on the principle. Are you fucking kidding me? That's affecting long term results for short term gain. Will you close them? Absolutely. Is it basic sales? Yes. If you're closing 30% of your patients, can that get you to 80 and give you a whole new practice? Absolutely. But then you're building a practice, not a movement, and you sacrifice the bigger business model.
Correct.
Because if
Correct.
your purpose is to disrupt healthcare, then mimic the people that disrupted industries.
Right.
And that's what you and I have for our business model.
Yes. You know what else you sacrifice? And again, I know the average doc's not thinking that because sometimes you're thinking, I just got to pay the bills. I get it, so you get into a
Survival.
bad place and you're like, shit, I'll bring in this and I'll bring in that and I'll add this and then you know what, I'll dilute it and I'll placate and I'll relabel it and I'll make it condition based because I just got to get some people in. I appreciate that. I'm not condemning it. I get it, but what you sacrifice is the profession. You sacrifice chiropractic. You sacrifice what the potential of the profession could be, right? Not just your practice, which is obviously critical and important, but the overall identity of the profession itself. So, the idea that we now are often viewed as natural allopaths, like now it's like if it's drugless, it's chiropractic, which again, I'm not saying those things don't offer benefit, but that is not what chiropractic is, right? So, but that's what's starting to happen, right? So you're seeing, hey, this doesn't use drugs, so I'm going to put it under my roof, and therefore that's chiropractic, or we call it chiropractic. When in reality, you know what? The D.D. Palmer said it because he was struggling with that early on in the inception of chiropractic. He was like, at the very least, make chiropractic center stage. If you're going to do other things, do them, but make chiropractic center stage. Make it the uniqueness that it is. And as you and I know, you said something I remember a long time ago, which was just so simple and profound. It was like, hey, you want to double your practice? Get every single person to bring in another person.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
No,
It's
I
funny.
know.
It's chiropractic's inside out, but we're always looking outside in, right? So we profess inside out, But when we want to grow the practice, it's outside. It's outside. No, no, no. Look inside. Increase your clarity, increase your confidence, increase your ability to communicate, make yourself better. Like Jim Rohn, my coach, taught me, right? Like make yourself of greater value. If you're shooting for a goal where you want to put most of your time and energy into you, and the more you do that, when Fred's talking about creating a movement, then it becomes easy because your level of conviction in and of itself will influence somebody else. But when you're not there and you keep looking outside and don't stand for anything, right? And you're going to fall for anything, right? So unless you stand for something, you fall for anything out there, and often in a desperate effort to grow your practice, which often comes down to, I'm not even trying to grow my practice, I'm trying to just pay my bills, right? And unfortunately you're coming out without that skill set, and then you become desperate, and then you become deluded, and then all of a sudden you're not only affecting the ability to have long-term practice movement and create a movement, but you're sacrificing the profession. And here we are, so that's why the profession struggles now, because we don't have the identity. You got a group of docs that are like, hey, if it's subluxation analysis correction, okay, then you got another group that's like, well, anything that's drugless, and then you got another group that are like, hey, we're spine doctors, we should be able to do spine surgery and drugs. So it's all over the place because we've lost that sight of what it is we do. So,
well, there's two things that you said that were now, a couple minutes ago. But one, you said, look inside, seek the kingdom first, seek the principle inside you, seek the conviction inside you, raise your purpose.
Yes.
And then building a practice is easy. You'll end up creating a movement. Two things. Another thing that you said is people look outside, they look to marketing. So here's one of the mantras that Elon built Tesla. He said, don't spend money on marketing, spend money on bettering your product or service.
Yes.
Invest in bettering yourself and your product or service. So he built Tesla without spending money on marketing.
Right.
They spend all their money on building a better product. Well, what do? Shit, man. Join Joe's group. Have Joe coach you.
Yeah.
Go to a day one, day two boot camp where you can learn how to build a movement and how to get 100% of your patients to agree chiropractic health care lifestyle. Well, I don't believe that 100%. I've never seen that. Yeah, I know. That's the point. Exactly. I know. Nobody ever saw Tesla either. So obviously somebody did something that is so different than what's been done in the past.
Exactly.
Because maybe we actually want to change healthcare. And then the last thing is 2015. Who did that study, man? I don't know. I forget. But anyway, 17% of Americans went to chiropractors in 2015, and 70% thought it was about back pain. That means only 4.2% knew anything about healthcare and chiropractic, right?
Right.
2022, AI did a conglomerate study, I forget what we call it, where you look at all studies. It went from 17% to 11%.
Wow.
And then 80% of the 11% think it's about neck and back pain.
Wow.
We're getting worse.
Yes. Agreed.
Come on, motherfuckers.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Now, Joe's a nice guy. I would say, even though I do teach a spiritual evolution system, he's probably more spiritually evolved because he's so nice. Well, I understand and I can appreciate that. I don't fucking appreciate it. I mean, I understand if that's what you had to do to survive. Okay, now let's get out of high school and let's get in the NFL. You know what I mean? Because when you're selling a product or service, they're going to negotiate. When you learn how to empower people, how does Tony Robbins get 15,000 people he doesn't know, he's not even talking to individually, to walk across red hot coals, and you're telling me 0.5% get blisters?
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'd ask you to do. we're at the end of summer, Thanksgiving. I don't know. Did you barbecue over the summer? Take one of those red hot little briquettes, throw it on your patio, and then step on it and let me know how that feels.
Right.
Because that's what Tony Robbins just did with 15,000 people, and just a handful of people got blisters. Not third degree
Yeah.
burns all the way to the bone. They got blisters. That means every person has the power to become unstoppable. And if you're selling a product or service, what you're not doing is creating unstoppable people. And that's why we go from 17 to
Correct.
11. That's
Correct.
why it's
Exactly.
basic sales. That's
Totally.
why it's condition related. That's why you need to fucking go to Joe Borio's boot camps and learn how the fuck to think like Joe.
Well, I think what you're saying, and I appreciate that. I'm right back at you. Go to your boot camps. You said something. You said, how does he empower? And that's the problem. I say the problem. The challenge we face is the profession itself has a insecurity problem. So personally insecure, we have an identity insecure issue, and we want to dilute, diminish, to placate, to make us more palatable to the public, so that somebody will come in, because we don't have a skill set on how to communicate. We don't have a skill set on how to ask questions. Like, you talk about creating a believer on day one, right? You talk about creating a movement on day one. You're talking about, look, I'm not really trying to build a practice. I'm trying to build a movement. I'm creating believers. Like, we do the same thing. We come at it a little differently, but the same idea. Like, everybody already gets chiropractic. I call it a revealing. Like, you're revealing what they already know. You're aligning it with health, and you just constantly have to nurture it. Like, if you do that, you will have droves of people coming in to get adjusted. You will literally have droves and droves of people that want to come in and get care. And then when you take care of people, same thing with your practice, Fred, right? You're seeing a whole bunch of people look at you and go, how do you see all those people? Because I'm not doing a mini exam on everyone. I'm not like, hey, let's do a cervical compression and a Bectoruse and a straight leg raise to see why your back hurts. Like, they're coming in so-called healthy, right? Healthier, and they're coming in to get checked and adjusted. So they're walking in, they're laying down, you adjust them, and they're leaving. Like, so it's easy to adjust somebody in 30 seconds or 45 seconds, because you're not dealing with all the disease model, the disease conversation, the symptomatic model. They're coming in with the understanding that there's no health of crooked. When I get outside and live my life, I get crooked. When I get crooked, it puts pressure on nerves. If it puts pressure on nerves, my brain can't talk as well to my organs, my body doesn't work as well. So whether you want to go metaphysical, whether you want to go clinical, whether you want to go biological, whether you want to go theological, whether you want to do all of them. I mean, God can't talk to your body, and the spirit of God can't express himself through your body if you're crooked, if you're subluxated, if you're not well connected. So in the end, every aspect of your health is better. So when you start talking like that, they start thinking like that. But if you talk like they talk, you can't lead them anywhere. Your back hurts, well, tell me about your backache. Like, you can't lead them anywhere. But if I say, geez, that the concern with that is, geez, when the back's out, I mean, those nerves also go to prostate, bladder, large intestine. The concern there is, if those messages, what's going to happen? You ask a few questions. Now you don't just have a spine problem, you got a health problem. When your spine's sick, you got a health problem. So all of a sudden, that conversation, not with everybody, but with a lot of them, starts to move towards, I need to get here regularly throughout the lifetime. I got to get my kids in. That's how you build the believers in the movement. But if you never talk like that, it's never going to happen.
No, no, that's true. Well, and that's the principle, it's like, I work with a lot of spinal corrective docs, as you know. And here's the thing, people care about spine to a point. Like, what you say is, and there's people that are gonna listen to this, go, Fred, you're fucking crazy, I don't like you, or whatever. But
Get
when,
names. We're going to go in the car. We're going to visit a few people if that's what's going on.
yeah, man, don't make us send Vinny to come and knock
Baseball
on your
bat.
door.
Hey, Tony
So
here. Tony,
also,
how you fucking doing?
if it's focused on the spine, they don't care about an adjustment.
Yeah.
Then they decide if they need an adjustment.
Yeah.
Now, what I teach our docs is you're either in the state of health or state of disease.
Right.
So what do we say? What's the one liner? Spinal cord's your lifeline. Sends energy to all the organs. The amount of energy going through your spinal cord is going to determine whether you're in the state of health, state of disease.
Quantity and quality. That's D.D. Palmer talked about five basic principles. Five basic principles. Quantity and quality of the impulse of innate. Go ahead, but that's what he talked about.
Yeah, exactly, man. We're just different words. That's why you and
Yeah.
I may use
Yeah.
different words, but we do the same thing.
Yes.
So we have the same mindset. So then that's what I tell docs. That's what you're either talking about. Are you in the state of
Right.
health, state of disease? So when someone shows up and you're checking them to see if they're subluxated, you don't say, let's check you, let's adjust you. You say, let's see how your body's healing today.
Yes.
So if you got to adjust five things, they walked in on the state of disease. And that's, if they miss an appointment and you got to adjust five things, and last time we only had to adjust three things, but you missed your appointment in between, you degenerated. You spent more time of your life in the state of disease than the state of health.
Correct.
And that's
Everyone has,
why
unless
it's
you're
three
getting
times a
adjusted.
week
Right.
or
Exactly.
once a week.
Yes.
And then when people come in once a week, here's the other thing: chiropractors get lazy. Well, I'm just glad you came in. So when you say once a week, that's once every 7 days. So if a person's been with you for years, they're supposed to come in on Mondays. Well, they didn't come in on Monday, but they came in on Thursday. They're like, well, I came in the following week, but once a week is once every 7 days.
Right.
If you come Monday and then you come the next Thursday, that's not 7 days, that's 10 days.
Exactly.
So what state are they showing up in?
Exactly.
Timing is important. And even BJ, I forget which one of the green books it was in, but if a person wasn't responding, he would change the time of the day. He wouldn't change the day, he would change the time of the day because based on your pattern and your lifestyle, maybe you should be getting adjusted at the end of the day instead of the beginning. If you got somebody with a ligament injury or whatever, instability in their neck or cervical kyphosis, and they have a desk job, I wouldn't adjust them before they go to work. They're going to be subluxated by lunch. I'd adjust them at the end of the day, have them lay on a dental roll, get an extension, because you're going to stay in the state of health longer.
Yeah.
So BJ would change the time.
Yes.
But healing happens in a rhythm. Now, one thing, not everybody, patients can judge whether they think they need an adjustment based on what you taught them. But 100% of people want to be healed.
Yes.
When you talk about healing, rather than just spine and adjustment, you talk about energy and healing. Let's see how you're healing today. So when you replace the word feeling with the word healing, doc, how
Exactly.
typical is this, Joe? First adjustment to come back day two. Hey, let's see, how'd you respond? Did you get sore? But doc, I feel great. I can move my head in traffic. Couldn't do that in years. I feel great. Okay, you got the inflammation out. Let's see how you're healing. You have the same pattern that you did yesterday.
Exactly.
You're showing up in the state of disease.
Exactly.
So you replace the word feeling with the word healing. Let's see how you're healing today.
It's not
Doc,
about how you're feeling, it's how you're healing. Exactly.
yeah. Hey, doc, I feel like shit. Well, let's see how you're healing.
Yeah.
Guess what? Healing doesn't always feel great.
Correct. Correct.
I mean, if you
And
get
sickness doesn't always feel sick, right? Like sickness
Yeah,
doesn't,
exactly.
that's the other thing. We keep following symptoms. Like you could be, blood clot, fucking tumors. You could have plugged arteries. You don't even fucking know. Astrocytoma growing in your fucking brain. You don't even know. You don't even feel it. Like, doesn't mean you're okay. We're running around on symptoms. No, run around on healing. Run around on are you functioning and are you healing? That should be your only focus. Are you functioning? Are you connected? Are you healing?
Well, here's what I used to tell people in the workshop. I go, your organs work very differently. Like your skin, if you burn your skin, you're going to feel it, right? Because
Right,
that's
exactly.
your protection. Like your
Right,
body, your
right,
body doesn't want you to burn in a fire, so it's going to
right.
hurt. But I used to tell them, if I cut my abdomen open, I pull my intestines out, and I take a lighter, then I'm not going to feel pain.
Exactly.
Because fire, by the time it gets to your organs, you're already dead, man.
Right,
But if I
exactly.
stretch them, I'm going to feel extreme pain.
Yeah.
You could have a tennis ball tumor in your gut, and if it's not pushing on something or stretching something, you'll have no symptoms.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
why you get gas pains. You got
Exactly.
stretch receptors. You could fucking take a lighter to your liver and it doesn't care.
Right.
Because if your liver's burning, it's just too late
Right.
anyway.
It's too late. It's
Yeah,
too
yeah,
late.
it's
Right.
over, right? But if you push on it, right, that's
Yeah.
like in boxing, man. You got to hit him in the liver
That's right.
or a
I bet
kidney.
my last fight I got hit in the liver, my fucking ribs and everything. I was not doing good.
So anyway, but that's what you said. You could have these tumors growing. So
Yeah, right, exactly.
like that blows people away. I mean, I could burn my intestine and I wouldn't feel it. Nope.
Correct. It's not, one of the things, and so let's apply this pragmatically. One of the things that we talk about in chiropractic is don't touch and treat. Like you don't even realize it, but what you're doing is you're reinforcing the feeling by what we call touch and treat. So, oh, Dr. Joe, my neck. Oh, right here, right here. So you immediately react to them and you go, oh, right here. Does that hurt? Is that? And, I get it. You may be analyzing for subluxation, but as soon as you touch and treat, in the sense connected to symptomatology, you're reinforcing that whole model. So then they're like, oh, I'm not sore. I don't need care. Or, you know what? No, that's not it. I don't need to be adjusted there. Like they're not getting it. You wouldn't go to a cardiologist and go, you know what? I know I'm 90% plugged, but my descending anterior circumflex artery doesn't hurt right now. So yeah, let's not treat it. Let's ignore it. Let's wait till I have the heart attack. Like it sounds so absurd to a cardiologist. You're like, what are you talking about? But you're gonna go like, well, it doesn't hurt me, so I don't need care. Well, I did a test. It's 98% plugged. You're a week away from dropping dead of the widowmaker heart attack. No, 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 no. I'm fine. I'm fine because you're focusing on feeling. You're focusing on symptoms. You're not focusing on function or you're not focusing on healing. That's all you want to talk about. Unless your area, I don't know, but I practiced in upstate New York for 37 years. I never met a fucking human being that had a problem talking about their symptoms. I mean, so why do I want to ask questions about symptoms? Like everybody in the world is a master at telling you their symptoms. So I'm just going to reposition it. Fred, that's a concern too, because that area affects this and it affects the healing there and affects the function here. And you can lead them to a higher state of thinking by their conversation. I'm never going to go, oh, well, tell me about your pain. Tell me about, does it hurt? Does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? Oh, if I'm
Does
going
it
to
get
push
worse
hard
at
here, does it
night?
hurt
Does it
here?
radiate here?
Exactly. Jesus Christ, you're killing yourself. It's meaningless.
You know, in our
What are you going to do
consultation.
differently? Oh, it hurts worse at night than it does in the morning. Like, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to do something different. Like, it's so stupid. Like, I know we're taught that way, but what's the difference? It doesn't matter. All you got to know, okay, I want to know clinically. I don't want to do something if they have a pathology that is going to harm them with the adjustment. But short of that, that's all I need to know. The rest of it's easy. Adjust them. That's all you got to do. Just adjust them.
Well, and people say, well, we got to talk about their symptoms because that's why they came in and we want to make them feel like we understand them.
Yeah.
Well, here's what we teach. First of all,
Yeah,
that's
that's
bullshit.
ridiculous. It's
Second of
total bullshit.
all, so here's what we teach in our
Total bullshit.
consultation. So, we identify, hey, right in pre-consult, I see you come in back pain. Let me explain what's going on here. And then you get them in the principle. And then a consultation, okay, where's your back hurt? Show me. And then we touch it. Right here? Are you sure? Okay. Then I say, why do we touch it? So the patient understands that we know where it is, so we don't ever have to talk about it again.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, so we say, great. Is it right here? Okay, is it here? Okay, this is what you said. Great. Now let's talk about your organs. Now let's talk about where those nerves go.
Exactly.
But that way, that's how you satiate, if you want to, make people feel understood. Right in the beginning, touch it. Why? So I don't ever have to fucking talk about it again.
Yeah. I had a guy come in number of years ago. One of those moments, that you pay attention to. Probably happened 1,000 times and I wasn't paying attention, right? And he said, "Oh, I've been to a chiropractor before," and I said, "Who? Who'd you see? What type of care? Do I know him? Does he practice like we do? That's kind of my reasoning as to asking why
Yeah.
or who he saw. I don't remember. I don't remember who he was. He said, really nice guy though. He's a great guy. Really, he was a great guy, and he was in maybe you know him. He was out in Baldwinsville. He was really into hunting, and he was in a couple other things, but so he liked the guy. He remembered that he was involved in a few things. It happened to be Eric Croucher, Upstate Chiropractic was the guy he was talking about. But he didn't remember. He was really into golf because Eric's a big golfer. But he didn't remember the guy's name. Like he didn't remember like anything. And it was really like it struck me like that this guy wasn't getting anything about chiropractic. So he connected with Eric. He connected with the chiropractor, right? He connected that, hey, they talked about their symptoms. They talked about what their hobbies were. He felt like there was like this little friendship connection, but he doesn't remember the guy's name, right? Doesn't remember the name. So I learned right there that this whole bullshit of like, I want to feel connected or bonded. You know what? That's your insecurity. And I say it out of love to you. I'm not trying to hammer you, but that's you being insecure. That's making yourself feel better, not them feel better. I go in, I do a 3.5 minute post consult. That's all I do. I do a 3.5 minute, I do a day 2, hit them with a day 3 on Monday so they learn about the principle with their spouse. 90% of people from walking through the door sign up. 70+% are there a year later, and we have over 90% re-sign, or if you will, 90% acceptance of lifetime wellness care. That's how you do it. And I'm not sitting there talking about who their favorite football team is. I don't want them to know if I'm married. I don't want them to know how many kids I got. I don't want them to know who my favorite football team is. I don't want to get into those conversations with people. It doesn't mean I don't love them and care about them, but that's not going to serve them. The only thing that's going to serve them is me elevating their understanding of health and what the detrimental effects of subluxation are and how it affects their body's ability to heal. Every single time I adjust them, that's all I'm focused on in getting their kids in. It's the adjustment above Atlas, it's segment organ function on the table, and it's getting their family in. That's the only thing I'm trying to accomplish when they're on the table. That's it. Everything else is a waste of my time.
Yeah, I'm going to tell 2 quick stories, and then we got to rock and roll. One is I used to tell my patients, after they committed to care and stuff like that, I would go, you know what? You don't have to like me, but you do have to make your appointments and bring your family. Yes. And they go, Dr. Fred, we love you. I go, I love you too. But that's not the most important thing. I go, you don't even have to like me, but you do have to make your appointments and you do have to bring your family.
Exactly.
And you have to live a chiropractic lifestyle, right? And so then we came up with the mantra, one thing we teach in Elite, when you give up the need, the emotional need to be liked and accepted,
yes,
you gain the gift of being loved and respected.
Yes.
So when you give up the need of being liked and accepted, you gain the gift of being loved and respected.
Yes.
And then, years ago, I heard this from CJ Mertz. Of course, whether or not it's true is another thing. But he said I was in a hotel room with 3 people. There was a guy at 300 a week, 500 a week, and 800 a week. And we were talking about the daily visit and table talk. And so CJ, how's your table talk? 300 a week guy said, I could really be a lot better. 500 a week guy said, I actually do pretty good, but I could be better. The 800 a week guy said, that's all I can talk about.
Yeah.
So that's like, what else would you want to tell? What's more important than moving energy into your body and your body healing?
Exactly.
Why would you want to talk about anything else?
Exactly.
Other than the healing experience.
Exactly.
And I remember I heard that because I was at 500 a week, but my goal was to go to 1,000 a week. Yes. And right there, I said, that's it. Now, and this, clients are like, how can I change? It takes a long time to change. No, it doesn't. This is Tony Robbins. A decision happens in a moment. It could take you 25 years to make that decision.
Yes.
But that was a moment right there where I went, that's it. I'm done. Changed on the spot. Yes. It was the only thing I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Because you're more committed to your purpose, right? You need a strong emotional decision.
Yes. I use that example of a glass of water. Like if you take a glass of water and have a slide and you put blue food coloring in it, right? And it turns blue. So my attitude is blue represents chiropractic. The water represents their understanding of it. Every time they leave your office, the world adds water. Every time they walk out, the world adds water. So every time they come in, if you're not adding blue food coloring, you're not adding chiropractic principle, they just get further and further diluted. So what happens to most interactions is I get to know you, you like me, I like you. Guess what? The last thing we talk about is chiropractic. We don't even talk about it anymore. We're talking about hunting, fishing, golf, the fucking weather, who won the Masters tournament, and we're allowing them to get so diluted that all of a sudden they leave and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they left. Like, I really liked them. I thought they got it. No, you stopped watering the garden. You stopped adding blue food coloring. They just did what everyone's going to do. They're just going to get diluted. You got to make them, I don't care if they're the most convicted person in your office. I give them the same chiropractic talk as the person who's the most diluted. It doesn't matter. You come in, it's chiropractic 101 on the table every freaking time. That's the only thing I talk about. That's it. End of story. That's it.
I saw this video and it was about empowering people, right? And actually, I think, actually, what it was, now that I really recall, there was a video, but then this was at church, and the pastor said it. He said, as a Christian, who is a person, what state is the person walking away from you? Like you have an interaction and then you separate.
Interesting.
What state is that person in when they walk away from you?
Love it.
And that's the daily visit. As that person is walking away from their visit, what mindset, what state, what belief system do they have?
Yes.
And what person did you create in that 60 or 120 seconds?
Yes. Love that. I love that.
Yeah, now if you take that in every area of your life, you're gonna build a movement.
Yeah. How are they walking away from the interaction? Ask them, interview them. Hey, you just got adjusted by Dr. Joe Borio at his office. Like, what's your takeaway? You know what I mean? Like, what are you thinking? Not how you're feeling. What are you thinking about chiropractic or the adjustment, or why did he adjust you? Or why'd you show up today? Like, interview those people, like, and see what they say. It's like, wow, that's powerful right there. That's serious. It's good.
Yeah, it might be shocking too.
Yes.
So anyway, we got to wrap this up.
Go. Rock and
roll. So one thing, and one of the things I love about you, man, and we can't help ourselves because, let's talk about business. We started with the purpose of the business model of disrupting healthcare. And that's the model really that we teach. I mean, you may or may not have thought of it like that, but I know you have. That's your purpose, right?
Yes.
You teach doctors how to create patients that will never go to MDs unless it's a crisis.
Right.
But if they're under your care, it probably won't be a health crisis, probably an injury.
Right.
So one, but then what do we always come back to? The best business model is the fucking principle.
Yes.
I mean, then you have systems and then you have everything, but that's the foundation that's the cement foundation that you build the frame of the house.
Yes.
Like, yes, you need systems. Yes, you need business stuff. But we always come back to what's the first thing? Because you can have a business model, but if you don't have that foundation, you're building your house on sand.
Yes.
You got to build it on rock.
Yes. Fred, I know you got to go. Two quick points. A turning point in my practice. We had a room in the back of my office early on, and I was so messed up, and I hired Reggie, and he was my mentor. And when I knew things were really starting to shift, we got around the holidays, we got so many Christmas presents, gifts that, years earlier we were seeing more and more people, but that didn't happen. All of a sudden it was almost like overnight, boom, we just got massive amounts. So people felt really connected, like they weren't coming in because their back or neck, they were coming in because we were connecting to their life. Last quick one, there was a guy I took care of. He was one of my first people I ever took care of. His name was Ken Conklin. I saw him for about 18 years, and he was dying. Hospice was at his house. Karen is his wife. She comes into the office, and I said, geez, I just want you to know we're thinking about Ken, knowing that, and she goes, Dr. Joe, we asked Ken what he wanted, and he said he wanted to get an adjustment. He wanted you to come to the house and get an adjustment. Would you come to the house and adjust him? I said, 100%. So at lunch, I went up there, adjusted him. He died the next day. But right after I adjusted him, he took this deep breath in. He was getting that death rail when I saw him. But, it's like, oh, like, like, oh my God, like I cannot tell you like how great that was, just reconnected, comfort, every aspect of it, and we were tearing up and the whole nine yards. But, you realize like he didn't call me there because his back hurt. He didn't call me because tomorrow, he knows he's going to be dead. Like he called me up there for something far deeper, and he knew that. And I want to leave this world like, healthier, more connected, or more functional, or closer to God. I mean, he knew something would benefit his transition, and it was an adjustment, and it was just awesome. So something major's happening when you start experiencing stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's because you taught, they understood life and death. It didn't tell them
Yes.
that they were going
Yes.
to die. You never told them they were
Yes.
going to die,
Yes.
but they understood that life force energy. And that reminds me of a very quick story. I had this 92-year-old Italian woman. She was really short, brightest blue eyes. Her whole life was in chiropractic. So anyway, she was 92. She came on a Monday or on a Friday, sorry, and she goes, I just got out of the hospital. They told me my kidneys failed, and if I don't stay in a hospital under dialysis, I'm going to be dead by Monday. And she goes, I'm not fucking dying in a hospital. So she said, I want you to come to my house 3 times a week and adjust me at my house. I'm like, done. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'd go to her house, I adjust her. 3 months, I adjusted her. And then one Friday, I go there and she says, I'm done. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I wanted you to keep me alive long enough that I can get things in order and spend some time with my family, and so I can feel comfortable leaving them.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm done. And I was looking into these beautiful blue eyes, and I said, okay. I go, well, I got some shit to do, so it's going to be a while before I see you again. And I hugged her. I told her I loved her. And the last thing I said, right, was, I'll see you on the other side. And her daughter came in on Monday. She died over the weekend.
Wow. Jesus. Yeah.
So the whole thing is, like that guy. There's
Yeah.
people that you have to try to remember, and then there's people you can't forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
do you want to create an experience with every patient that you're the guy they can't forget?
Yeah.
Because there's way too many people that don't remember their chiropractor names. Do you want to be the person they can't forget?
Yeah.
And with that, we'll end.
Yeah.
So, hey, we got a boot camp
Thanks for
coming up,
sharing.
Salt
That was
Lake
great.
City. Day 1, day 2. I will absolutely guarantee you every patient will minimally agree it's healthcare lifestyle. And in spite of that, you still won't take 10% because or else not a priority. But they will agree they're just not ready. So I can say, 90%. And then January, we have the retention boot camp, how to get through all time and money objections and keep them for the rest of their life and affect generations.
Love it.
So we got those coming up. I know you got some stuff coming. Go to Elite.
End of March. Yeah, we're end of March. So we're gonna have a boot camp at Fort Lauderdale on the March 1-day intensive, which will be great. So yeah.
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 Hey man, I would love to have you come and speak at our boot camps. Again.
Yeah, well, vice versa. We'll get into that conversation after after Thanksgiving probably, because I know you got a coaching call to jump on too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
All right. Love you, bro. Love what we do together.
yeah.
Well,
Right
you
back
guys
at you. Like it, share it, bring some people to our events, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Blessings to you.
Absolutely.
Bye.